all I keep hearing in the golfing world is shorten your backswing and hit the golf ball further to lower your scores. Well, today I'm going to elaborate that here on Get Good at Golf. And guys, if you want to do just that, please make sure you take 2 seconds, hit that subscribe button below, and of course throw a like on this video if you find it helpful. Now, I have a bag full of golf clubs. I have Tacoma golf clubs, I have different golf clubs, and I have 2 clubs which you may think, oh, I've seen this video before, I've heard about videos like this before, but if you want to hit lower scores, if you want to lower that ball flight a little bit, potentially hit the ball further, let's talk about how we're going to do that and how we can, of course, use these clubs. Chris borrowed this wedge and it's dirty, so I apologise. He didn't really, it was Bobby. But guys, we're 100 yards out here, as you can see, and we're at the gorgeous Carden Park Golf Resort. Now, it's been a fantastic stay here, so thank you for hosting us, but I wanted to show you just a couple of shots where potentially you could lower those scores. So 100 yards for me is a 52-degree wedge, and you can see I've got Tacoma's latest SF002 wedge, a fantastic one to have a go with. Now, if I just hit some full shots here, this should be about the right club. So I want to swing nice and long, nice and fluid, and you can see there, that's all over the flag. Is it the right distance? Yes, it's absolutely perfect. Now, I could hit that time after time, I could keep hitting that shot and practice that shot, but there's a lot of effort gone into that, and there's also a lot that could potentially go wrong. You can see that I've loaded up right to the top of the swing here and had a nice weight transfer in to deliver that club down to the ball. Now, what if we could swing this club shorter, hence the title of this video, and hence why I've tried to elaborate on it just a little bit more than swing your driver shorter and hit it further, or swing your irons shorter and hit them further, because we all want to hit the ball further, but I personally am obsessed this year with getting the ball closer to the hole. I think that's more likely to help you lower those scores, and of course more likely to help you, what, Laura? Get good at golf. Yep, no Bobby today, we do have Laura behind the camera. Thank you so much for your help. So I'll hit you one more with this SF002 wedge, and you'll see again, I could potentially hit a really nice shot towards that flag. It's drawing in nicely. It's going to be the right distance once again because it's nice and consistent. So that's landed, front edge, and released up nicely. Now, what if I were to change to my Tacoma 301 MB club? So this is a pitching wedge and it comes in at 47 degrees of loft. So rather than 52, we have 5 degrees of loft less. We also have a tiny bit more shaft length, which means we don't have to exert as much club head speed for this ball to come out lower, and of course with more ball speed, because more club head speed means more ball speed. But we can swing this slower and shorter, and from 100 yards, we can actually start to be a lot more accurate. You can see I've sawn off that follow through there. I've got the same ball flight. It's landed the same front edge of the green and released up to that flag. And there's a lot less that can go wrong here. So all of a sudden, I'm making sure that I'm swinging a lot shorter. I've just clubbed up a little bit because of the wind. And you might think this is a really simple thing, but we see it so often, where if your 52-degree wedge is your 100-yard club, that's all you hit. And to be honest, I'd like to see people practice a little bit more with this. I'd like to see people go, right, I can hit the pitching wedge 100 yards, but also, the bag's fallen over, I could hit an 8-iron 100 yards. I could also hit a 6-iron 100 yards. And what you start to do here is you start to understand a lot more dynamically about the golf swing. You start to understand where your weight needs to be at impact. You start to understand where the club handle needs to be, where the grip needs to be, and how that dynamically reduces the loft, so we can of course get that ball flying closer to that flag. So from this same spot, we now have 8-iron, and one of the key things you'll see with the 8-iron is of course that club is going to be a lot shorter. So from here, I can then push that club forwards, and the handle of the club gets in front of the golf ball. So once again, even though we're using this 8-iron, so the 8-iron is going to have around 30 degrees of loft on it for argument's sake. Now dynamically, that's going to be less. It's going to be 27, 25. So the ball's going to come out lower. As long as the handle is in front of the club head, we're always going to be more in control of that club face. So the club face is always behind the hands, and that means that we're not going to be flipping the club over. One of the big misses that I see from this distance is the ball moving too far to the left, because people try to hit it far too hard, they release the club out here, And as you can see, that club head gets in front of the hands. As soon as that club head is in front of the hands, the toe is rotating over. And as the toe rotates over with a golf club, where do we think that club face points? It starts pointing to the left. So even if you have the perfect swing path, even if you strike it well, you'll start seeing that spin axis being a little bit off. So from there, that's where you can start to hit it in bunkers. That's where you can start to miss greens from 100 yards. It's the most frustrating thing in the world when you've hit your driver down here 300 yards plus, you have 100 yards in, and from there you struggle to hit the green. You feel like an absolute idiot. So even with the 8-iron now, handle forward, I stand a little bit narrower, and you can see there a nice low ball flight into that green. Now that wasn't the best strike, that was actually a little bit thin. It still finished flag high and it's still a chance. So if I were to hit you another one here, ideally we would fly that a little bit higher. But the reason there why I've caught it thin isn't because we've overtook the hands, it's because we've just not rotated the body through enough and got that weight on the left side. So you start to understand a little bit more what goes on here, and you start to really see how this can be a good practice. I'm just amazed that I've hit that one that badly and it's still got to 10 feet. So you saw that even with the 8-iron, you don't have to strike it perfectly to get it close to the flag. And I think this can be a really, really good practice aid for you to understand how to flight the ball a little bit lower, again, while swinging that little bit slower and of course, maintaining control of the golf club. So we now have a 6-iron, and you may think this is crazy. You may think, James, why on earth would anybody ever use a 6-iron in this scenario? And the true answer is, you probably wouldn't do. But when you're on the driving range, when you're practicing, when you're working on your game, trying to hit a 6-iron 100, 120, maybe 130 yards can really help you understand once again the dynamics of the golf swing and how it works. So grip down it a little bit, take it so that the left arm's parallel to the ground, and from there, let's focus on releasing that club nicely around the left side of your body. What happens there again is the handle's in charge, so the handle's in front of the club head, and dynamically we reduce the loft just a little bit. The key that I want to do here, the main thing that I'm after, is to get that strike and a nice straight ball flight. I don't want to flip the club face over like I did a little bit on the 8-iron. I don't want to leave it out to the right. I want to make sure that it's a nice controlled ball flight. So we have 2 balls here, and again we're just going to try and play a soft draw from this 100 yards. And you can see there, I've struck that really, really nicely. That's just drawing to that left side of the green. And ideally what I want here is that element of a controlled flight. I don't want to just hit it full. All of a sudden, if you start hitting every single club you have in the bag full on, you lose that element of control, use that element of feel, and you of course struggle to hit different flighted shots. I think when you get down to the mid-handicap bracket, the key is obviously going to be short game, it's going to be putting, it's going to be, can I reduce those scores? But it's also going to be, can I help keep that ball flight down? Can I hit different ball flights? And can I hit different ball shot shapes? Because as soon as we get to do that, that's when we start looking at the low handicap bracket, that's when we start looking how to really improve. And once again, 100 yards with a 6-iron you may think's impossible and stupid, but that's one of the closest shots we've hit from this array of shots here at the glorious Carden Park Resort. Guys, if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. Lots of videos to come for you to get good at golf. And apart from that, I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.